You track your steps to get healthy, and suddenly you're pacing your kitchen at 11 p.m. to hit 10,000. You measure productivity by emails sent and find yourself writing pointless messages just to boost the count. You set a reading goal of 50 books and start picking the shortest ones you can find. The moment you turn something into a target, your brain stops caring about the actual goal and starts gaming the system. And the weirdest part? You don't even realize you've completely lost the plot. This happens in every part of your life. Schools measure learning with test scores, so teachers stop teaching and start test prepping. Companies measure performance with sales numbers, so employees push products customers don't need. You measure relationship quality by time spent together, so you sit next to each other scrolling phones and call it quality time. Your brain sees a measurement and immediately figures out how to maximize that number while ignoring why you wanted to measure it in the first place. You've confused the map for the territories so many times that you can't tell what you actually wanted anymore. This is called Goodhart's Law. Researchers have studied this across psychology, economics, and organizational behavior for over 40 years. Your brain evolved to optimize for clear, measurable outcomes because hitting visible targets kept your ancestors alive. Gather 20 berries, survive today, track animal movements, eat V. Your mind became incredibly good at hitting specific numbers. But that same optimization system completely breaks down when the number stops representing what you actually care about. Your neurons lock onto the measure and lose sight of the meaning. Your brain is designed to chase metrics so hard that it destroys what the metrics were supposed to capture. Here's how this works in ways you experience constantly. You decide to lose weight, so you start tracking calories. Seems logical. Your brain sees the number and optimizes. You eat 1,200 calories of candy instead of 2,000 calories of real food because the number is lower. You hit your calorie target and feel accomplished, but you're hungrier, less healthy, and more likely to binge later. The measure was supposed to represent health. Now it's just a number you hit while getting less healthy. Your brain optimized the metric right out of meaning. Or you want to be more social, so you count conversations per week. You set a target of 10 meaningful interactions. Your brain locks onto that number. Now you're having surface-level chats with coworkers, just 2 tick boxers. You ask the cashier how their day is going, and mentally count it. You reach out to friends with empty messages that check the interaction box, but build nothing real. You hit your target of 10 every single week, but you feel more isolated than before you started measuring. The metric captured connection at first. Then you started optimizing for the metric, and connection vanished. And here's the part that sounds impossible but isn't. The better you get at hitting your targets, the worse you get at achieving your actual goals. The phenomenon doesn't just corrupt one measure. It creates a cascade where optimization kills authenticity. You measure productivity by hours worked. Your brain makes you stay late, even when you're not productive, which makes you tired, which makes you less productive during actual work hours, which makes you need to stay even later to hit the hour's target. You're working more, producing less, and feeling accomplished because the metric went up. The cascade feeds itself. More measurement leads to more gaming, leads to more measurement to catch the gaming, leads to more sophisticated gaming. You're trapped in an arms race with yourself, where the metric becomes the enemy of the goal. Your perception system works like a video game, rendering only what you're looking at. Most people think this is about choosing better metrics or being more disciplined. So they try to find perfect measurements or force themselves to care about the real goal. But that's like trying to ignore a flashing red light in your peripheral vision. The real issue isn't the specific metric. It's that your brain is fundamentally wired to optimize measurable things over unmeasurable things. You can't measure what matters most. Connection, meaning health, creativity, wisdom. These are fuzzy, multidimensional, context. Your brain can't optimize fuzzy. So the moment you create a proxy measure for something fuzzy, your brain latches onto the proxy and abandons the fuzzy original. This exists because clear targets gave your ancestors massive survival advantages. The hunter who knew exactly how many arrows to make survived. The gatherer who tracked exactly which plants were safe thrived. Your brain that could lock onto a number and hit it repeatedly 1. But that same system catastrophically fails when the number is a stand-in for something that can be reduced to numbers. Your brain inherited an optimization engine built for hitting concrete targets in simple environments. You're running it in a complex world where most things that matter resist measurement. The engine keeps running. It just optimizes the wrong things now. Stay with me, because what comes next questions everything. You're not actually trying to achieve your goals. You're trying to achieve your measurements of your goals, and the moment those diverge, which they always do, you follow the measurement and call it success. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the real goal and the metric that represents it. To your neural circuits, raising the number is the goal. The original purpose that number was supposed to track becomes invisible. You're not optimizing for health. You're optimizing for steps. You're not optimizing for learning. You're optimizing for test scores. You're not optimizing for connection. You're optimizing for interaction counts. Every single metric you set becomes the thing you chase instead of the thing you wanted. So the next time you set a target and start tracking it obsessively, you'll know what's really happening. Your brain just replaced your actual goal with a number that was supposed to represent it. You're about to spend energy hitting that number while the real goal quietly dies. But now you can catch it. You can notice when you're pacing the kitchen for step counts instead of actually getting healthy. When you're sending empty messages to hit interaction targets instead of building real connection. When you're reading short books to hit your number instead of expanding your mind. That awareness is the only defense. You can't stop your brain from optimizing metrics, but you can stop setting metrics for things that die when you measure them. You started this video thinking measurement helps you achieve goals. Now, you know measurement often destroys the goals it's supposed to track. That's not a small shift. That's understanding why chasing numbers makes you lose what you actually wanted. Pay attention this week. Notice when you're optimizing for the measure instead of the meaning. Don't judge it. Just watch how quickly your brain abandons the goal once the metric appears. You'll see this everywhere. Subscribe if you want to keep discovering how your brain actually works.